Have you ever just stopped and really thought about how incredibly organized life is? I mean, seriously, how do billions, even trillions of cells in an animal body manage to work together? How do they avoid just descending into total chaos?
It's an amazing question, isn't it? It really is a masterful feat of biological engineering built up over millions of years.
Absolutely. So today, we're doing a deep dive into exactly that. The intricate structural organization in animals. We're taking all this detailed research, these notes, and we're going to break down how animal bodies are constructed. From the tiniest building blocks right up to the huge, complex systems.
And our goal, really, is to shine a light on those core concepts, those key definitions that you really need to grasp, making them hopefully easier to understand and remember.
And then we'll see it all come together in a fantastic example, the frog. It's a great way to illustrate these principles in action.
What's so fascinating, I think, is how universal these basic organizational principles are. You see them across such a diverse range of animals. And getting these foundational definitions down, that's truly the key to unlocking the bigger picture in biology.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Where do we start? I guess at the very foundation of multicellular life, this idea of division of labor.
Exactly. Think about a single-celled organism first.
Right.
An amoeba, a bacterium, that one cell has to do everything.
Right. Finds food, digests it, gets rid of waste, reproduces. The whole 9 yards. A real jack of all trades.
Precisely. And that works fine for simple life. But when you get to multicellular animals, the game changes. You can't have every cell doing everything inefficiently.
So specialization kicks in. Different groups of cells take on specific jobs.
That's the core idea. This division of labor allows for incredible efficiency and, well, much greater complexity. Think about something relatively simple like a hydra, thousands of cells, but already specialized.
And then scale that up to humans.
Mm.
Trillions of cells,
Yeah.
all working in this incredibly coordinated way. It's mind-boggling.
It really is. And that coordination relies on the next step up in organization, a term that's absolutely fundamental to remember: tissue.
Tissue. Okay, let's nail this definition. It's not just any clump of cells, right?
Not at all. A tissue is specifically defined as a group of similar cells, along with the intercellular substances, the stuff between the cells that work together to perform a specific function. Think of it like a dedicated team within the body.
A specialized team. Got it.
Yeah.
Similar cells, intercellular stuff, specific function. That's the definition to hold on to.
And here's something quite elegant. Despite the huge variety of animals out there, all complex animal bodies are built from just 4 basic types of tissues.
Only 4. That seems surprisingly simple.
It is, in a way, though how they combine creates the complexity. Think of the heart, a complex organ, right?
Wow.
It actually contains all 4 basic tissue types working together: epithelial, connective, muscular, and neural tissues.
Okay. So those 4 types are like the fundamental building blocks. Cells form tissues. What's the next level?
Tissues then organize. They don't just float around. They arrange themselves in very specific proportions and patterns to form organs.
Like the stomach or the lungs.
Exactly. The stomach, lungs, kidneys, the brain, these are all organs. Each is a distinct unit made of different tissues collaborating to perform a larger function than any single tissue could alone.
Makes sense. And organs don't work in isolation either, do they?
Generally, no. When 2 or more organs interact physically or maybe chemically to carry out a common, broader function, they form an organ system.
The digestive system is a perfect example, right? Stomach, intestines, liver, pancreas.
Precisely. All cooperating to digest food. Or the respiratory system, lungs, trachea, diaphragm working together for gas exchange.
So let's recap that hierarchy because this seems crucial to remember. It flows from cells.
Which group into specialized tissues.
Tissues combine to form organs.
And organs cooperate within organ systems.
Cells, tissues, organs, organ systems. That sequence is foundational. You really need to internalize that flow.
Absolutely. And this whole hierarchical setup isn't just tidy organization, it's essential. It's what allows for the efficient, coordinated activity of potentially billions of cells. It enables complexity, adaptation, and ultimately survival.
Okay, theory established. Now let's see it in practice. Let's zoom in on our example, the frog, specifically Rana tigrina, the Indian bullfrog.
A great choice. Frogs are amphibians, class Amphibia, phylum Chordata. They beautifully demonstrate adaptation because they live both on land and in freshwater. Studying them gives us real insight into vertebrates.
So what are some key frog characteristics we should remember? I know one is temperature regulation. or lack thereof.
Right. Frogs are cold-blooded, the technical term being poikilotherms. This is a
Yeah.
really key point. Their internal body temperature basically matches the environment around them.
Which must have huge implications for their behavior, right?
Massive. It dictates everything, activity levels, feeding, breeding. They have to physically move to warmer or cooler spots to regulate. Another cool adaptation is their camouflage, or mimicry.
Oh yeah, they can change color, can't they? Blend in with grass or dry ground.
Exactly. It's a protective coloration to hide from predators. And related to temperature and survival are their seasonal sleep patterns. This is important.
Hibernation in winter, I know that one.
Right, hibernation is the winter sleep, usually in deep burrows to escape the cold. But they also have a summer version called estivation.
Estivation, summer sleep.
Yes, during peak summer heat and dryness, they'll also retreat into burrows to conserve moisture and energy. Both are crucial survival strategies. Remember those two: hibernation, winter, and estivation.
Got it. Hibernation and estivation.
Okay, let's look at their outside, their morphology. Their skin is pretty famous, isn't it? Smooth, slimy.
Smooth, slippery, and always moist due to mucus secretion. And here's a really fascinating detail about their skin, something really core to being an amphibian. Frogs never drink water like we do.
Never. How do they get water then?
They absorb it directly through their skin. Their entire body surface acts like a sponge for hydration. It's a critical adaptation. Wow. Okay, that's definitely worth remembering. Skin, water absorption. What about color?
Typically, the top or dorsal side is olive green with dark, irregular spots, good camouflage from above. The underside, the ventral side, is usually a uniform pale yellow.
And their body shape is pretty simple. Head and trunk, basically.
Exactly, just head and trunk. And a key identifier for adult frogs: no neck and no tail. That absence is important.
On the head, you see nostrils, obviously, with those big, bulgy eyes.
Prominent eyes, yes. And they're covered by a special eyelid called the nictitating membrane. It's transparent.
Like built-in goggles?
Kind of. It protects the eyes, especially when they're underwater, without blocking vision. Also, on the head, on either side behind the eyes, you'll see a circular patch of skin, the tympanum.
That's the eardrum, right?
That's effectively their eardrum. Yeah, it picks up sound vibrations.
And limbs. They've got 4.
2 pairs. The forelimbs are shorter, with 4 digits. The hind limbs are much larger and more muscular, with 5 digits. And importantly, they're webbed.
For swimming, obviously. But they use them for more than that.
Oh, yes. Those powerful hind limbs are used for swimming, walking on land, that characteristic leaping, and even for digging burrows. Very versatile.
Now, how can you tell males from females apart just by looking? Is there sexual dimorphism?
There is, quite clearly. Male frogs have vocal sacs, pouches of skin in the throat region they inflate to make their calls. Females don't have these.
So only males croak like that?
Generally, yes. The loud croaking is the males. Also, during breeding season, males develop a rough patch on the first digit, the thumb, of their forelimbs. It's called a copulatory pad.
And females like that pad.
Correct. So vocal sacs and copulatory pads are key identifiers for males. These external features aren't just random, they're all adaptations, clues to how the frog survives.
It really drives home how every little detail, the skin, the eyes, the limbs, contributes to their unique amphibious lifestyle.
Exactly. It's form perfectly following function for life in 2 worlds.
All right, we've covered the outside. Now let's metaphorically peel back that amazing skin and look inside. Let's dive into the frog's internal anatomy, starting with how it eats the digestive system.
Okay. First thing to note, frogs are carnivores, primarily eating insects, and this directly impacts their gut structure.
How so?
Carnivores generally have a relatively short alimentary canal, or gut tube, compared to herbivores. Digesting meat is generally quicker than breaking down tough plant cellulose.
Efficiency again. So the path is mouth.
Mouth into the buccal cavity, then a short pharynx leading to the esophagus, which is also quite short, then into the stomach. From the stomach, food moves into the small intestine first, then rectum, and finally undigested waste exits through an opening called the cloaca.
Cloaca? What's that?
The cloaca is a common chamber at the end of the digestive tract that also receives waste for the excretory system and products from the reproductive system. So feces, urine, and sperm, or eggs, all exit through this one opening. It's a feature found in amphibians, reptiles, and birds.
Interesting. One exit from multiple systems. What about digestive help? like glands.
Key players are the liver, which secretes bile stored in the gallbladder to help emulsify fats, and the pancreas, which produces pancreatic juice containing enzymes to break down carbohydrates and proteins.
So digestion starts in the stomach with acid and enzymes, then finishes in the intestine with help from the liver and pancreas.
Pretty much. Food gets partially digested in the stomach into a paste called chyme. Then in the first part of the intestine, the duodenum, bile and pancreatic juice do their work. Final digestion and nutrient absorption happen along the intestine, aided by internal folds called villi and microvilli that increase surface area.
Okay, digestive system covered. How about breathing? You mentioned they have two ways.
Yes, and this is absolutely key to their amphibian nature. Remember these two: cutaneous respiration and pulmonary respiration.
Cutaneous. That's through the skin.
Exactly. When the frog is in water, its moist skin acts as the primary respiratory organ. Dissolved oxygen from the water diffuses directly across the skin into the blood.
And pulmonary is lungs.
Right. On land, they rely more on pulmonary respiration. Air enters the nostrils, goes into the buccal cavity, and is then actively pushed into a pair of simple sac-like lungs in the trunk. But they also use their skin and the lining of the buccal cavity for gas exchange on land, too.
So they're always using their skin to some extent.
Yes, the skin is always involved. And critically, during estivation and hibernation, when they're dormant, gas exchange happens only through the skin. The lungs aren't really used then.
Wow. Okay. Skin is vital for water and air.
Yeah.
Now, the circulatory system moving all that oxygen and nutrients around, is it complex?
It's quite well developed for an amphibian. It's a closed system, meaning blood stays within vessels, arteries, veins, capillaries. They also have a lymphatic system.
And the heart, you mentioned it earlier.
The heart is muscular, centrally located, and importantly, it has 3 chambers. 2 upper chambers called atria, a right and a left, and 1 lower chamber, the ventricle. The whole thing is enclosed in a protective sac, the pericardium.
3 chambers. Not 4 like mammal. What does that mean for circulation?
It means there's some mixing of oxygenated blood coming from the lungs and skin and deoxygenated blood returning from the body in the single ventricle before it's pumped out. It's less efficient than a 4-chambered heart, but sufficient for their metabolic needs.
So blood goes from the heart via arteries, returns via veins. Pretty standard.
Yes, but frogs also have interesting portal systems. These are special veins that connect capillary beds in different organs without going directly back to the heart first. They have a hepatic portal system connecting the intestine and liver, and a renal portal system connecting the lower body parts and the kidneys.
Huh. Extra loops in the circulation. And the blood itself.
Composed of plasma, the fluid part, and cells. Red blood cells, RBCs, white blood cells, WBCs, and platelets, a key difference for mammals. Frog RBCs are oval, biconvex, and nucleated. They keep their nucleus, and they contain hemoglobin for oxygen transport, of course.
Nucleated RBCs. Okay, that's a detail to note. How about getting rid of waste?
Yeah.
The excretory system.
This system is crucial for eliminating nitrogenous waste, primarily urea. The main organs are a pair of compact, dark red, bean-shaped kidneys located towards the back of the body cavity.
And they filter the blood.
Yes, they filter waste from the blood to produce urine. Each kidney is made up of numerous structural and functional units called uriniferous tubules or nephrons.
Urine then leaves the kidneys through
tubes called ureters. Now here's the difference between sexes. In males, the ureters act as a urinogenital duct, carrying both urine and sperm from the testes, which are attached to the kidneys, down to the cloaca.
Combining functions again. And in females.
In females, the ureters carry only urine and open separately into the cloaca. The oviducts, carrying eggs from the ovaries, also open separately into the cloaca. There's also a thin-walled urinary bladder connected to the cloaca for temporary urine storage.
And because they excrete urea, they are called.
They are ureotelic animals. That's a key classification term based on their primary nitrogenous waste product, ureotelic.
Ureotelic. Got it. Okay, complex systems require coordination. What about the neural and endocrine systems?
Highly evolved for control and coordination. Chemical control comes via hormones from endocrine glands, pituitary, thyroid, adrenals, gonads, etc. The nervous system handles rapid electrical signaling.
How's the nervous system organized?
It's divided into the central nervous system, CNS, the brain, protected by the skull or cranium, and the spinal cord, running down the back inside the vertebral column. Then there's the peripheral nervous system, PNS, nerves branching out from the CNS, including 10 pairs of cranial nerves from the brain and spinal nerves from the spinal cord.
And an autonomic part.
Yes, the autonomic nervous system, ANS, controlling involuntary functions, divided into sympathetic and parasympathetic branches. The brain itself has distinct regions.
Yeah.
Forebrain, olfaction, thinking; midbrain, mainly optic lobes for vision; and hindbrain, cerebellum for balance coordination; medulla oblongata connecting to the spinal cord.
And sense organs. We mentioned eyes and ears, tympanum.
Right, they have organs for touch, sensory papillae in the skin; taste, taste buds; smell, nasal epithelium; vision, those prominent eyes, which are simple eyes, meaning single units; and hearing, the tympanum and internal ear structures. Importantly, the internal ear is also involved in balance, or equilibrium.
Okay, one last major system. Reproduction. How does that work?
The systems are separate in males and females. Males have a pair of yellowish ovoid tests attached near the kidneys. Sperm travel from the tests through fine tubes called vasa efferentia into the kidneys, then through a structure called Bitter's canal, eventually reaching the urinogenital duct and exiting via the cloaca.
So sperm passes through the kidney?
Effectively, yes. It uses ducts associated with the kidney pathway. Females have a pair of large ovaries, also near the kidneys, but not functionally connected. Eggs are released from the ovaries and enter paired oviducts, which are coiled tubes that open separately into the cloaca.
And fertilization.
It's external, happening in water. The female lays a large mass of eggs, often 2,500 to 3,000 at a time, and the male releases sperm over them.
And development. They don't hatch as mini frogs, right?
No, they hatch into an aquatic larval stage called a tadpole. Tadpoles look very different. They have gills, a tail, no limbs initially. They then undergo a dramatic transformation called metamorphosis to become the adult frog. That metamorphosis is a hallmark of amphibians.
Wow. So putting it all together, this relatively small amphibian possesses an incredibly complex, well-engineered body. All these specialized organs, intricate systems. It's remarkable.
It really is, and it makes you think, doesn't it? Considering this level of specialization, what does it tell us about the intense evolutionary pressures that shaped the frog? How did it become so perfectly adapted to survive and thrive in two very different environments, water and land?
Beyond the fascinating biology, frogs actually matter to us, to humankind, don't they?
Absolutely. They are incredibly beneficial. They eat vast quantities of insects, including many agricultural pests, so they provide natural pest control, protecting crops.
And ecologically.
They play a crucial role in the ecological balance. They're both predator and prey, forming a vital link in food chains and food webs in many ecosystems. Their presence, or absence, can tell us a lot about the health of an environment.
And, well, some people eat them too.
Yes, in some countries, their muscular legs are consumed as food, so they contribute in multiple ways.
What a journey we've taken. From the basic idea of cells organizing into tissues, organs, and systems, remembering that crucial hierarchy. Cells, tissues, organs, systems.
Right, and then seeing all those principles vividly illustrated in the frog, from its water-absorbing skin and nictitating membrane.
To its two modes of breathing, its three-chambered heart, being ureotelic, and that amazing transformation through metamorphosis.
Understanding these distinct parts, these key terms, and how they connect, that's how you really start to grasp the complexity. It's how the information sticks.
Definitely. So knowing just how intricate and interconnected the systems within a common frog are, it makes you wonder, doesn't it?
What other organisms, maybe ones we consider simple, might we be vastly underestimating in terms of their biological sophistication?
What more is there to uncover just by taking a closer look? Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you feel a little more well-informed about animal structure and maybe, just maybe, a bit surprised by the complexity hidden in plain sight.